Heidi-ho, Arkansas Pilgrim here again with an instruction video about how my Redneck GoPro gadget, or as some call it, hillbilly holder, which actually has a better ring to it, but I don't want to go into the whole redneck hillbilly thing right now. Maybe that's for another video. Anyway, for all of those of you out there that have one of these, you wanted a little instruction on the intricacies of how it works. Now, I guess starting off, it's got, this is just held on by friction. If this actually ever ends up, staying like this, kind of getting stuck like that, run some warm water over it, straighten it out, and then let it cool again, and then you'll have to put some force to it, because it just slides in, and the fact that it wants to spring out is what holds it from falling off. Okay, the next part, on the end here are two wing nuts, and you twist them to tighten. They righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I hate that term, but the direction you turn your hand, the thumb, with your right hand, the thumb is the direction it's going to go. So if I turn it this way, it's going to tighten that way. You can tighten or loosen that up. If you want to, let's see, I'll come in closer, at least hopefully. If you want to move this part, you need to loosen these. If you want to move this up and down, you need to loosen and then tighten ones here. So, and then when you do that, that's where you can arrange this however you want it. If you're looking, and actually, let me put a phone in it. Actually, this is how you put a phone in it. You want the screen facing you so you can see what it is that you're looking at. And I think most phones are similar. They'll have, well, actually they're not. This one is slightly different than the one I normally use. You've got these buttons on here. You're going to want to place it so that the buttons are out of the way of these fingers. Now, it doesn't have to be centered perfectly. It can be off to one side or the other. But I do recommend that you have the two fingers on the bottom so that it's held like this. And what I do is I kind of use the phone to kind of hold it, pop it open, and there you go. And tighten that down and it stays there. Oops, and I just did it backwards. There we go. Now I can see the screen, and it's pointing, and depending on what your phones are like, one of the phones I use, the selfie mode where the screen's facing you, the camera is not as good a quality. So this is better, and you can also see what you're pointing at. And part of that is, if you trying to frame it, if you are working on something and you actually want it closer, you can move this down and that out, and it gets it closer. If it's already too close what you're doing, you can move this up and then pull it up into you, which it's harder to see, but it just depends upon what you're doing. And obviously there's variations of that in between, or farther down there, that's how you adjust that. And somebody I saw actually did it like this, where they had the phone this way. I don't recommend that because, well, like right here, this one thing, it's not, I guess I can pinch it and then tighten it down, but I don't think it holds it very, well, I don't think it holds it very strong. And actually, if you were going to do it like that, you'd want to totally flip it. Well, you'd want to flip it around and have the two fingers on the screen rather than having one finger on the screen. Yeah, this is an old broken phone, so I'm using it as a sample. This is probably the phone that broke when I first showed myself making this and testing it for the first time, and the phone wasn't gripped tight enough. Anyway, let's just go back to get that all twisted there. It's really intended to hold the phone like this. Now this phone that I'm using right now, it's not in a case. I don't recommend that. On mine, I've got these little kind of foam pads here that give it some little cush to kind of help it grip. And it basically works on this, but it's really much better to have your phone in a case where you've got, you know, the silicone rubber, and the case itself provides a little bit of squish and grip so that the springs pull it into the case and it won't slip out, fall out, and have, I don't know, something like that happen to your phone. Alrighty, let's see. And I think one last thing, and maybe it's more of a comment, but I noticed you got the phone like this, you know, these springs are kind of in the way of your touchscreen, but with a little bit of practice, you can actually, let me see, how's this frame? Yeah, with a little bit of practice, you can slide on it, hit stuff. You can always, you know, position the phone where you like to make it easier to do that. I have not found it to be a problem. And if, I suppose in the future, if I actually change this and put some torsion springs back here, where, you know, where the springs are actually back here and cause the twisting. This is what I had on hand. I mean, do what you can with what you have where you are, right? So, but like I said, I haven't found it to be a problem. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. So for all of you out there that have one of these, I hope that's helpful. And if you've got any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments and I'll answer them for you. So God bless y'all. See you next time.